In mid-November, a post by Rongrong, a mother from Ningbo, brought the tragedy of her 5-month-old daughter, Xiao Luoxi, to the attention of numerous netizens, who were all deeply grieved by the incident. On November 17th, there was finally a new development in the case. Chen Xianjun, the doctor involved, had been suspended from practicing medicine. Both Women and Children's Hospital affiliated to Ningbo University and Ningbo Municipal Health Commission issued responses, and the incident was moving toward the revelation of the truth. Xiao Luoxi was a premature baby. She was born in Ningbo No 1 Hospital last May. Having been born 1 month ahead of schedule, her family took her to Women and Children's Hospital affiliated to Ningbo University for regular developmental checks without fail every month. Fortunately, all the baby's indicators were consistently normal, and her family gradually breathed a sigh of relief. However, a sudden turn occurred on November 11th. Her routine physical examination showed no abnormalities, but the hospital prescribed 3 additional tests: brain magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, echocardiography, and a hearing test, claiming such examinations were mandatory for premature infants. The echocardiogram revealed that Luoxi had 2 ostium secundum atrial septal defects, measuring 3 mm and 7 mm respectively. After researching the condition online, Rongrong and her husband learned that the spontaneous closure rate of atrial septal defects in infants is extremely high before the age of 1. They initially planned to monitor the condition for a while, but still made an appointment with Dr. Chen Xianjun from the cardiology department to seek professional medical advice. This reaction was understandable, as most parents would act similarly. After all, information found online is not always reliable. Yet, what Dr. Chen Xianjun, the director of the cardiology department, said during the consultation changed their minds. He claimed that the 2 defects were relatively large and would impede the baby's overall development, particularly that of the lungs and brain, emphasizing that surgery was urgently needed and the sooner the better. At the same time, Director Chen stated, "This is a common minimally invasive surgery that only takes 2.5 to 3 hours with a mere 2% risk." Trusting the expertise of the specialist from a Grade A tertiary hospital, the couple signed the surgical consent form on November 14th. Never did they anticipate that this so-called simple surgery would mark the end of Xiao Luoxi's young life. The baby was wheeled into the operating room at 8 a.m., and the surgery did not conclude until 4:37 p.m., a staggering 9 hours, far exceeding the projected 2 to 3 hours. The infant was under general anesthesia for a total of 7 hours and 12 minutes. While waiting anxiously, Rongrong and her husband made 4 phone calls to inquire about the situation, but the hospital never took the initiative to inform them of any abnormalities. Rongrong said, "I was so desperate that I cried over the phone, begging the hospital administrators to verify what was happening in the operating room. Given how long the surgery had dragged on, something must have gone wrong. But we had no idea what exactly had happened or what rescue measures they were taking," Rongrong recalled. When Xiao Luoxi was wheeled out of the operating room at 4:37 p.m., her condition was critical. Her body was covered with tubes, her skin had turned purple, and there was blood all over her. Her face was swollen, and a teardrop still lingered at the corner of her eye. "Another doctor told us at the time that the surgery was a success, but I had a gut feeling that my daughter was not going to make it," Rongrong said. Right after exiting the operating room, Xiao Luoxi was rushed to the pediatric intensive care unit for emergency treatment and monitoring. It was only after repeated questioning that the family learned the harsh truth. The baby was admitted to the PICU not for post-operative recovery monitoring, but for resuscitating a critically ill child on the brink of death. At that moment, Rongrong pleaded with the hospital, saying she would not pursue liability or blame anyone for the outcome of the surgery. Her sole request was to save her daughter's life. She also begged the hospital to arrange for specialists from Shanghai, with whom the hospital had cooperative ties, to come for consultation, offering to cover all related expenses herself. The hospital agreed to coordinate this. Tragically, the family was notified of the baby's death at 10:03 p.m. that night. Later, Rongrong learned through other channels that Xiao Luoxi had suffered massive bleeding during the surgery due to the accidental suture of her pulmonary vein, which necessitated an emergency rethoracotomy. Shockingly, the hospital had kept this life-threatening incident completely concealed from the family throughout. What was even more heartbreaking was that during the 6-hour rescue effort, from the baby's transfer to the PICU in the evening until her death was announced at 10:03 p.m. No medical staff took the initiative to update the family on her condition. Furthermore, the Shanghai specialists that the hospital had promised to dispatch never arrived. Adding to the suspicion, the death certificate clearly stated the time of death as 10:03 p.m. Yet the medical records noted that her vital signs were stable at 10:20 p.m. This obvious contradiction aroused great doubts among the family and the public. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the family faced immense difficulties in pursuing their legitimate demands. When they requested to view the surveillance footage of the surgery, the hospital refused, citing the absence of such recordings. More shockingly, the family revealed that Dr. Chen Xianjun had been involved in 2 other fatal surgical incidents involving young infants, one in June this year and another last year. Both disputes were quietly settled by the hospital without public disclosure. As public outrage grew, the hospital finally responded on November 17th, stating that it had launched an investigation into Dr. Chen Xianjun and suspended his medical practice. It also pledged to assist the family in safeguarding their rights in accordance with the law and would handle any confirmed medical negligence legally. Ningbo Municipal Health Commission concurrently classified the incident as a relatively major medical dispute and stated that it was handling the case in accordance with relevant regulations. Multiple pediatric cardiologists online pointed out that Xiao Luoxi's atrial septal defects did not constitute an urgent indication for surgery. Especially for a 5-month-old infant who was still within the window period for spontaneous defect closure, the hasty decision to perform surgery was highly questionable from the outset. Additionally, concerns were raised regarding the surgery's lack of rigor, including the risks posed by 7 hours of general anesthesia to a premature infant and the failure to perform an enhanced CT scan preoperatively to clearly determine the specific type of the defect. Another aspect that filled me with helplessness was when I checked Xiao Luoxi's mother's social media account. Looking through her past posts and videos, I found that she had even filmed herself holding her ID card to authenticate her identity in previous appeals. Despite going to such lengths, her cries for justice initially failed to gain sufficient traction. Thankfully, with the support of countless netizens, Xiao Luoxi's parents have finally been able to continue speaking out and are pursuing legal action to hold those responsible accountable. Currently, in addition to answering questions from netizens online, they are also regularly updating the public on the progress of their case. If you like this kind of content, want to know more Chinese life and show, please subscribe my channel. See you next time.